Oh my god, I can't even believe I'm doing this. Now most of y'all know what a Karen is, and I'm not going to sit here and explain that because I have like 5 minutes until my next passing period. So this video is just going to be a straight up story time. No time for editing because school, and yeah, let's just get straight to it. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, let's start with Karen. So about 2 months ago, and also I'm not using anyone's name because she's going to try to get me in trouble, and also the things I'm going to tell you she did are pretty messed up. So she comes to my house and she tells me that, and she talks about it, then you know that she's messed up, and I will record it if she does come. Like, I'm not even going to, like, okay, so here we go. Because I'm just like, the people near my house, they just hate me now because, you know what, let me explain this to you. Okay, so basically, it's like 2 months ago, and it's still summer out. And so it's the summer, and obviously I'm going around playing basketball. Now, I usually just go out with this one friend of mine. We go to the court, we play basketball for a few hours every day. But this was, I think we hadn't, so this friend of mine is super serious at basketball. So he had been playing for a few months in summer, and I wasn't hanging out with him. Like, over Corona, we had just lost touch. But then I started talking to him, like, a few days after this happened. So, basically, I'm going around playing basketball, and what's happening is I'm going to, like, friends' houses. So, I have this friend, and his girlfriend at the time, his ex now, his girlfriend at the time, we go to her house. So, we are playing basketball, and she has a little brother. Now, at the time, I did not know this was her house. I mean, I knew it was her house, but I did not know she has a little brother. And so, playing basketball there, and obviously, at this point, I was just horrible. I hadn't really started playing basketball yet. So I was really just garbage, and I'm still not good, but I'm a hell of a lot better now than I was before. So, I'm playing, and after that, I realized I'm not doing very well. So I'm like, you know what, guys? I think I'm just gonna so it cut out because I had an alarm. But anyways, they're like, you know what? Sure, go ahead, commentate. Cause like I do stuff like that involves talking at school, and they've heard me do it, like announcements and stuff like that, just small stuff. And so I think they liked it because they were pretty enthusiastic about it. And so obviously, I start talking, and so her brother, I did not know it was her brother at the time. He is garbage at the game. Like, he's not even, like, I'm sure that a small infant would do better than him. Now, I will say this stuff here. I didn't say this to his face, but I'm going to say it here. Why am I going to say it here? Well, because you have to understand, I was pretty mad because something had happened that day, and the thing is, I was just mad because the person who had, like, talked to me looked a lot like him, so I was mad at him. And so I wasn't really mad at him, but so what this kid is doing is assume that you're the hoop, right? So he does this, he's going to shoot, and he shoots behind him. Not as a joke or anything, but like then as a whole, like as if he's trying to shoot behind him. And I'm like, and so I go, you know the thing where you go up to someone and you're like, how do you feel after that? And I'm like, how do you feel after that? Dumb, and I just dumb play. And he's like, and I'm like, all right, no comment. And so about a minute after that, I keep on commentating. I call him like horrible at the game and stuff like that. Nothing like insanely mean. Like, if I was like him, if I was anything like this kid, dude, everyone that has ever said anything remotely mean to me would never, ever talk to me ever again. So about a minute later, after I'm commentating on everybody. It's not like I'm just picking on him. So about a minute later, he's like, you know what, get off my property. I'm like, okay, guys. And so this is exactly what I do. I go, all right, guys, it's his property. Now make sure you don't break anything. Like, I'm being sarcastic. And after this, he just rushes at me. Like, he runs at me like he's going to hit me. And there's a lot of things I can't do, but running is not one of them. So I run to, like, the park area. And so I run there, and he stops following me. And so all the kids, about a minute after I come, they follow me. And so this girl she calls her mom the Seattle Karen. This isn't me, by the way. The kids at the park and this mother's daughter came up with it. They call her the Seattle Karen. This is not me. This is not my original joke. Her own daughter calls her this. And so she's like, you know what? She's a Seattle Karen. And so there's this, like, cool guy. Like, I wouldn't say, like, he's a chill guy. He's a friend of mine. He's like, I wouldn't say rebel, but he's, like, argued with the bus driver before, if you know what I mean. So, like, he's that type of person. And so, basically, like, he's that, like, I didn't, and so she's like, you know that kid? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, my mom made him cry. And I'm like, okay, I don't care. I didn't do anything wrong. Because I didn't, like, touch the kid or anything. I didn't hit him. I didn't do, like, I'm not going to say I wasn't mean to him, but I didn't, like, actually do anything to hurt him. And so I run, and this lady comes up to me, and she's like, hi, are you the one who's yelling at my son? And I'm like, I guess. She's like, well, I don't like it when people come to me, tell me that someone's being rude at the park. And she was really trying to make it seem like I was just a horrible person who was being rude to everyone at the park. Which, I mean, I guess if that's how they see me, they've got a messed up vision, but whatever. And so she's like, say sorry to him right now. And I'm like, all right, kid, I'm sorry. And she's like, okay, didn't have to be that hard. And so I'm like, you know what, man, whatever. And so about a week later, the guy and his girlfriend had broken up. And so they're broken up, and so we're not playing at his girl's house anymore, because I didn't go back after that. We're playing at his house now, and so I'm playing basketball there. I've got my ball, I'm shooting hoops. This was when I had started getting a bit better at the game. And so I'm shooting hoops, I'm doing pretty well. We're playing 21, I think, something like that. And so we're playing 21, or like something, and this kid comes, and so the guy who's there, let's call him, because I can't use any real names. So the guy whose house it is, let's call him Jacob. And so I'm like, hey, Jacob, look, it's someone, I'm like, Jacob, all right, this is your property, so you got to keep it safe. And Jacob is the guy with the girlfriend whose mom is the Karen. So I'm like, all right, Jacob, this is your property. Make sure no one dirties it or anything. And so about a minute after me saying that, because I knew the kid was watching, and so about a minute after that, he brings his mommy again. And this isn't like a little kid. He's like 10, which is, I would not say a little kid. And so he comes up, and his mom is like, what are you saying? Why are you harassing him? Why won't you let him play here? I'm like, excuse me? I didn't do anything like that. She's like, well, I have video of you harassing him, and there was another kid there. There was another, like, 8-year-old, 9-year-old kid there. Let's name him Fred. She was like, well, I have video of you harassing my son, Jacob, and Fred. And I'm like, and so I get up, and I'm like, look, kid, I am sorry. And also, before I said that, she was like, you can either tell me now or we call your mom. And I was like, because I knew my mom was going to, like, get mad at her, and then I thought that Karen was gonna throw hands with my mom, genuinely, because my mom knew I was in the right. So after that, also Jacob lives like 4 houses down, so not that deep. I mean, not that far. So she could have found my house after that, and I think her daughter knew. And so after that, because this lady is basically like stalking me at this point. Like, so after that, I just never ever talked to her again. Right? And about a month after that whole incident, want to know what happens? Her daughter, so my brother's playing with paint, and I guess he's like threatening them. So her daughter was like, if you put that paint on me, I'm gonna slap you. And my brother was like, all right, I'm not gonna put this paint on you. It's just for my protection. And so she smacks him, and then I'm guessing he put paint on her. And so after that, my mom goes to the lady's house, because, okay, my brother wears glasses, right? And so if y'all wear glasses, you know that there's like an indent, I would say, on the hinge of the glasses. So the indent goes into like here, and it leaves a mark. There's a mark on my brother. So my mom goes to her house, and this Karen, freaking old ugly lady, opens her door, and she's like, "Oh, isn't your older son the one that harassed my son? You know what? I've had enough of your family," and closes the door. Also, fun fact, I'm in a class with Jacob right now, which is crazy. But anyways, aside from the fact that I'm in the class with Jacob right now, my mom is like, you know what, whatever, fine. Because at the end of the day, it's not that deep. Like, it hurt him for about an hour or so. It hurt pretty bad from what I heard. And so, at the end of the day, my mom's not a Karen, and my brother isn't anything like hers. So, we're not crybabies. My mom goes to her house to confront her. The lady shuts the door on her face, and my brother goes back to the park, and he starts telling them what happened. And he's like, she just smacked me, and my mom went to her house. And after that, at like 9 p.m., it's dark as heck out, this lady Karen comes to my house, knocks the door with a Karen knock. Also, I'll link Scrubby's channel down below because he's my entire inspiration to tell this story. I wasn't gonna tell this story, but I'm a big fan of his, so I decided I had to go out. And this lady comes to our house, she knocks. I thought that there was like an earthquake or thunder, because that's how she was knocking. And my house is built in a way where the wall it's not a big wall, it's a small wall, and it's just connected to an even smaller door. So if she's hitting the door hard enough, she's making the entire wall vibrate, which is making the house like loud, basically, because vibration creates sound. So she knocks, and I'm like, oh, it's a thunderstorm. And so no, and then I go up to the door just to make sure, and whoop-de-doo. And I'm like shirtless, I'm just kind of chilling, I have sweatpants on. And so I'm just kind of chilling, and I go up to the door, and I see this lady, and I'm like, frick no. So I'm like, Mom, don't open the door. Mom, please don't open the door. Mom, I don't need this energy right now. And Mom's like, you know what? No, I'm gonna give her a taste of her own medicine. And so, also, by the way, after my mom went to the Karen's house, she came back, and I was like, Mom, you should have called her the B word, because that's what she is. And she was like, you know what, I should have done that. And so this time this lady comes to our house, the Karen comes to our house, and Karen's like, well, I think your son was lying to you about what really happened. And Mom's like, okay, thank you, bye-bye. She does exactly what happens. And so I'm like, Mom, why didn't you call her the B word? And my mom's like, you know what, it's fine, I don't really care. And basically, this lady keeps on knocking because she's a Karen. She thinks she's better than everyone just because she's white. I should not have said that she was white, because actually, I live in I wouldn't say pretty white area. Pretty white area. And this lady keeps on knocking. She opens the door, and she's like, well, your son's a liar because he's lying to you about what happened. And my mom's like, no, he's not lying. I came to you. You were stalking my son because... Also, I'm speaking just from my mom's perspective right now. She's like, I came to you. My mom's saying, I came to you. You were stalking my son. I was going to talk to you about it like an adult, but you did this, and this is why your daughter's like that, and that's why your kids are like that, because their mom is a B word. And I'm like, yes, Mom. And also, I was recording this. 30 likes on this video, and I'll release the video. Also, it's like a Snapchat video because I was just on Snapchat, and I just had to pull something out really quick. It's like 30 frames, but 30 likes on this video, and I'll release the Snapchat on my TikTok, my Snapchat, and on my YouTube. So, yeah, and I'm making a video of all this, and that's why, and my mom's like, you know what? This is why your kids are like this, because you're a B word. And she slams the door like an absolute savage. And ladies and gents, that's it. That's the story. Like and subscribe, I guess. But Karen's definitely going to be watching, so... Yeah.